Hello there, in this video we're going to build a phone number component for our design system, so let's go. Just looking at this component in particular, you have the text, which is, let's go to the enabled. So we've got neutral 600 from memory, yeah, and we've got neutral 600 here for the text, but then the icon is neutral 900 and then the separator is neutral 600. So I actually think we should go in and adjust our icon colors just so there is that consistency on the UI, because the icon feels a little bit too dark. Just having a look at some of these other components, I mean, we've got here, you can see the icon might be a bit too dark here in comparison to the text. It is very subtle, but it's something that I'm probably going to just change now. So let me go back here. Let's go back to our home page. Let's go into our style guide and we'll just take this quick detour and update the icons. So let's go here and let's see what we have. So our icon slots are all set to neutral 900. Let's change it to 6. Let's go into the icons. Let's do the same. Change it from 9 to 600. Okay, I think that's good. Let's just lock those layers there. Okay, let's review our unpublished changes. So it's just telling me that I've updated something for these icons and it's related to the color. So let's add some notes. Okay, let's click on publish. Okay, so those changes are now published in the style guide. Let's close that down. Let's go back into the UI kit. We've got some updates here. We can go in and we can see what the slight difference is. I think you can actually zoom in. I'm just going to click on update all. And let me just go back out. Let's close that down and let's see, because that should have cascaded across the UI kit. So let's go in here. Okay, so just using the eyedropper and going across these colors, they all seem to be the same now, so that's good. It just feels a little bit more consistent, so everything's using the same color instead of using a slightly darker color, which is almost pulling more focus to the icon over the other things. So I think that's good. Okay, so I have checked some of the other pages in the design system and they're all up to date, so that's good. It's nice to make a change and then it cascades across the file. It's always best to go through the file just to double check to see if the changes have gone through on the different pages. So that's good, that's in place. Okay, I think we've got all the states that we need now for this component. So we've got the country drop down and then we've got the component states for the phone number component itself. Okay, so looking at this again from a different angle, I want to see if I can make this a little bit more visual. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this and let me just remove that there and remove the states. And I want to just see if I can add in some country flags. Okay, so just pasted in a very basic sentence here, helps users quickly identify their country. Okay, so for reference, I had a look on iconfinder.com and I've gone ahead and I've found 3 or 4 different flags that I can use in this design just as examples on how the component will work with a flag. So here's the website for reference. Some of them are free to download and some of them you need to sign up or pay. So it's there if you want to use it. Let's jump back into Figma. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go to the testing area and paste what I've got in my clipboard. Okay, that should be okay. Let's go ahead and have a look at what we've got. So these all seem to be 48 by 48. Okay, let me just expand that out. Let me just push these flags inside the testing area. That would also help. Let's just take a copy. And I wonder, just shrinking these down to 24 by 24, how these are going to look. I wonder if that's going to be enough space. Let's have a look. If I click into here, let me just paste it directly in. And let me just hide that label for now. Yeah, potentially that should work okay. Let me just edit undo that for now. Okay, so everything seems to have consistent size. Let me just paste it inside the container. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's just select all those flags, click on the 3 dots, create multiple components. Let's combine as variants and let's just give it the name of _country flags. Okay, that should be good. Let's give it an auto layout and let's apply some spacing variables. Okay, let me just go in here. Let me just rename this property to country. Let's go in here. Let's click and go to, well actually, first of all, let's go here. So currently these are 48 by 48. I wanted them slightly smaller. Let's bring them down to 24 by 24. Now let's take this flag, let's go in here and let's just paste it. And what I'll do is I'll hide the country text for now, so Command Shift H. Okay, I'm just going to add the flag to the other states as well. Okay, there we go. I've applied the flag to the different states. I have zeroed out the opacity on the last one. Maybe we'll change this later, I don't know, but for now let's just leave disabled as that. Okay, let's go in and get the line back because I think it's hidden at the moment. So let's set everything from fill to hug. There we go, that appears again. Okay, just as an example, let me just Option click and drag this component out. Let's just go through and have a look what we have here for the country drop down. So we've got enabled, we've got hovered, we've got focused, we have got active, and last of all we've got disabled. I'm just going to go in quickly and update the states because they're in the wrong order. So let's click on here, let's go states, let's go settings, and let's just tidy these up so we've got these in the right order. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, so we've got our country flags there as well. These will be the examples that I'll use for now. Okay, let's start to go through these components here and let's give them the correct state. So the first one is placeholder. Second one is going to be enabled. This one's going to be hovered, focused, disabled, error, and success. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's just shift click all of these. And let's click up here and create multiple components. Let's combine them as variants. Let's call this component the phone number. Click on enter. Let's go in here into the settings and let's just organize these states so they're in the correct order. Okay, let's give this property a name of states and let's go ahead and let's just drag this to the page. We'll put it here for now. What I'll do is I'll steal this container here and just paste it underneath. Let's just delete out that country drop down and let's just move the phone number into here. Okay, let's go ahead and add our states. Okay, there we go, that's a little bit tidier. So we've got all the states down the left hand side, we've got our phone number component here, and we've also embedded our country drop down as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and, well, first of all, let's tidy up this testing area. Let's just drag all these items out. Let's just grab our enabled state. Let's Option click and drag, and let's have a look on how we can optimize this component. So if I go to assets and if I type in text field, and let's just drag a copy of that out. So just like the text field, I want some similar customization. So we've got states, description, feedback, and text. So let's go ahead and start with that. So we've got our states. As I click on here, we can toggle through all the relevant states. So that's working. Let's go back to the component. Let's click on description and let's multi-edit variants to select all the other descriptions. And let's go down here to appearance. Let's click on the plus. And let's give this a name of description and we'll set it to true for now. So let's create that property. Now if I go across to here, click on our component, we now have the description toggle to toggle it on or off. Next we'll want to go in and do the same for feedback. So again, let's go to our first component up here, click on feedback and let's go multi-edit variants, select all the other variants and let's click on appearance, apply variable or property, click on the plus, and now we can type feedback. And let's create the property. Let's go up here. Let's go to an instance of our component. And now we have that feedback toggle, which is good. Last of all, we want to go in and be able to amend the text. So let's go back into here, select the text, multi-edit the variants. Let's click up here and click apply variable or property. Let's click on the plus and let's just leave that as text. Create the property. And now coming back to our instance, click here, we now have the ability to adjust the text. Yep, so that all works. And just out of curiosity, let's just toggle through some of these states. Yep, they're also working as well. Okay, and actually I'm going to go across to my component and let me just paste in this dummy number that I've got here. We can use that as the example for the moment. So let me just reset that instance. There we go, so that's nice and up to date. Okay, one last thing I'm going to do. So we've added the states, the description, the feedback, the text. I'm just going to click on the overall component. I'm going to click up here next to component properties, click on the plus, and then I'm going to go to nested instances, and I'm actually going to expose the country drop down, and let me just close it. So let's go back here. So now we have the ability to toggle all the different states at this level without having to double click through to the country drop down component. So I think surfacing that property would be useful. Okay, so there's a couple of things I'd like to do now. So one is, I'm just going to duplicate this, and I want to add some example content at the bottom. So I'm just going to put a placeholder here for now. So examples, and I'll just put that as pending. So I'd like to add some examples in there of when you're interacting with the country dropdown and what actually happens. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to go into the sort selector, and what we're actually going to need is we're going to need this options list. Now, I might have said this before in a previous video, we might need to break out this component into its own page as it could be used in other areas. So let's just go ahead and let's create another page. So let's go here and let's just create options list, go back into here. What I'll do for now is I'll just take the sort selector page and pop it in here, and let's just go ahead and update this page. Okay, what I need to do is go back here, and I actually want these master component. Let me just move them to the page. So that's one, and let's just do the same with this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is delete those elements there. Let's just lock this page again. Let's go to the options list and let's try and find our components, which they're here. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this one and I'll add in these components slowly. Okay, there's one, and let me just delete out that one, and let's just put master component in there. Just going to go in here, remove the underscore as I now want it available to use in other areas. Okay, that should be good, and let's just collapse this page. Let's lock it. I think we've got everything that we need here. Let's go back to the phone number component, and what I'm going to do is let's go into our assets. Let's just type in option, and let's just drag a copy of the options list out. Just going to pop it in here in the example section, and what I want to do is let's take a copy of the enabled. Okay, there we go. Okay, what I want to do is Command V, just paste in the options list, and I just want to show what happens when you interact with that country drop down. So let's just make sure that we're placing the options list inside of this container. Okay, that should be fine. I think it's 4 pixels beneath. Let's just go ahead and spread that out. Okay, so I'm just going to populate this with the country names. Okay, I've added in those country names. I imagine we would cap the limit at some stage so the list scrolls. For now, I'll just show these 5. Potentially a nice improvement to this option list is adding the flag. Probably look to add the flag to the left-hand side. Let's just have a look and see if we can do that. Let's go in here, let's go into the options list. So it's just text at the moment. So let me just go in here and add an icon slot. Just copy that out. Let's press Command C. Okay, let me just go ahead and select all of these. Press Command V. Okay, so that adds the icon slot there. I'm actually just going to move it so it's above the text. And let's just use this as a test. So let me just go back to the phone number. And let's just click into here. I know we've got chevron down. Let me just see if I can use any of the flags here in this file. Okay, so let's see if we can use country flags. Okay, so that seems okay. There's no spacing between them. So let's just go back to the options list. Let's go here. Let's click into the option and let's add 4 pixels. Potentially what I want to do is let's just expand out this component a little bit. Okay, let's get these chevrons round the right way. Let's also set that to hug. Okay, let's just move these ones. Okay, I'm just going to change the icon slot. Okay, what I want to do is multi-edit all of these variants, and I want to go in here and click apply variable or property, click on the plus, and I'm actually going to let's just put icon slot, so it's actually not displayed by default. Okay, that's fine. Let's just move this down here. Okay, so the icon slot should be hidden inside the options list. Let's just lock that, collapse the layers, go back to the phone number. Let's go in here into the options list. Now I can turn on the icon slot, and in this instance I've already put a flag in. If I just go to the other icon slots, let's just turn them on. Let's go ahead and let's just update so they're using a flag. Okay, that's good. So basically selecting the icon slot, going inside, selecting the chevron, typing in country, and then I'm switching from the style guide to created in this file, selecting country flags, and then selecting the relevant country. Okay, there we go. So we have added some extra functionality to our options list as well. So it gives us a bit more flexibility with the list if we want to add icons before the text or not. So that's good. Okay, let's just add a sentence in here. So an example showing the phone number component using the country drop-down list. What I want to do as well is go into this country drop-down list, which actually I don't need to click that far because I've configured it. I can just go here, select the main component, and go from enabled and go to activated. So then that shows that we've activated this field and the list has appeared. Okay, one last thing. I think looking at the disabled state, it does look a little bit off balance. There's a huge amount of space here and there's not in the others. I suppose you could add some kind of placeholder, but for now, let me just go into country flag, which I think is this level, and let's just increase the opacity from 0. Let's maybe take it to, let's do 10% for now, just so something is showing. It at least shows there is something in that particular section of the component, but it still feels like the component is disabled. Alright, let's go through and let's tidy up the file. So let's get rid of the testing area. I think we've got everything we need. Delete that. I'm just going to quickly go through and check the page for spacing variables, typography, and any other variables that need to be applied. Okay, so I've checked through the page, everything seems to be okay. We should have all the right things applied to our component now. Let's go up to assets and let's go to libraries and let's click on publish. So we've got two things in our list. Let me just publish the first one and let me just leave some notes. Okay, that's great. I'm just going to click on publish. Okay, there we go. That's the options list published now in our UI kit. Let's go back into libraries. Let's go back to publish. And now let's add some notes for our phone number component. Okay, so let's click on publish. Okay, there we go. The phone number component is now published in our UI kit. Okay, quick update at the end on the country drop-down. I've gone in and I've adjusted the hovered and the activated states, and I've made those strokes to 2 pixels because I think they were 1 pixel before. So that's just a quick update on the country drop-down. All right, let's go back to file, make sure all the layers are locked, and let's just hop over to the research file. Okay, so we are on the Get in Touch page. We have done lots and lots of things on here. Let's just go through and see what we have. We've done the phone number component in this video. We've already done the text area, radio buttons. We've also done the notification banner at the end. Okay, so I think in the next video we'll look at building a file upload component. We'll look at building out a new page in our UI kit and how it's going to handle files being uploaded to this website. So that's what we're going to focus on in the next video. Okay, that's it for... Let's try that again. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. Like and subscribe, add some comments, all of those things. And yeah, have a great week and a great day, and I will see you in the next video. See ya. Not gone just yet. Do I add my hat? Do I put it on? Or do I blind you with my shiny head? I have no idea. Anyway, it is boiling, absolutely boiling. I don't know where you are in the world, but in the UK at the moment, it is boiling. I mean, by the time you're watching this video, it could be winter, so maybe it's not relevant, but I need to get a cold drink. I need to stop having ice cream. I'm having far too much ice cream at the moment. It's out of control. Anyway, enough of me going on. Have a great day, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.